Hi, welcome to Million's Airspace. As we explore the cosmic energy that we're all in, let's explore even further into the auras, into the crazies, into the universe, and find out, if we can, what is happening on planet Earth. Now, that seems very encompassing, doesn't it? Just like when you walk, what's happening? Am I going to go this place, that place? And you usually just your destination and your errands at hand. However, when we do leave our habitats, our dwellings, we are going out into the ether. We are going out into the cosmic energy, the cosmic forces of we like to think that we have control over. And we feel confident that if we don't pay attention to something, it's not happening. Most of us do. We all do. Especially when we're in a hurry and we rush about. However, if we stop and ponder for a bit and we think about all the things that are happening at the same time, it's quite overwhelming. And then if we just think about nationwide what happens in our own country, it's still overwhelming. And so then we get even narrow, smaller in our space, and just think about our own specific community. However, things have a way of overreaching, expanding. And when we're dealing in space, whether it's, your space or someone else's space, it overlaps. It overlaps. Well, right now we have a question for all of you. We have a question for each of us to think about. Everybody knows, have heard about the drones. I mean, it's supposedly old news. In fact, we have to even use the word cosmic space or the universe because, frankly, most of us have never seen or heard of what we've been seeing the last, 5 or 6 weeks. So all of a sudden, we're like sped up to space age. All the sci-fi movies that we have seen are not so fiction. That's what we feel. And that's what our eyes tell us, even though our governments are saying nothing to see here, but everything to see here. So we're facing this dualism of like questionability, questioning. And then we wonder that when we've seen orbs, we've seen all types of drones, all types of sizes. I mean, the most we thought of drones in the past were Walmart delivery or Amazon delivery drones buzzing in the sky and wondering how we would get our packages. And of course, now it's gone totally 360. Now we have fog, we have droppings, we have beams, we have morphing into shape, we have colors, and this light show, this shape show, this zoom that we see over our houses, over our cities. And we know that it's something more. I mean, yeah, it's interesting to take out your camera and go, oh, look at this, look at that. However, you don't get a show for free, right? You don't get to see something for no reason. What is the angle? What is the gimmick? What is the calling card, the business card? And you have to wonder, have been given this unabridged, undeclared light show to soften us up so we wouldn't go, oh, look at that over there. And then, seen that, done that. I wonder what that is. I mean, how many times can you wonder what something is without like losing interest or the novelty is worn off? And the thing you have to ask, again, what is the purpose of the recent sighting? And then you think about all of a sudden California. You think of Los Angeles. Now, I think this is day 5. They've been having horrific burns. They still can't contain it. I mean, such incompetence is not normal. It's not even, you wouldn't even tolerate that from high schoolers on a project or the most incompetent, you wouldn't even fathom that such a thing can happen. So we know that it's just with the insurance, the water, the vacation period, the timing, and I'll investigate that. And we do know the word "I'll investigate" that means looking for their angle, and even too in Maui. It was the same thing. So they're trying to pin it on, a little ragtag bunch of looters. They're trying to pin this on, and of course, why? If it was, why couldn't they just round them up so quickly? And then you think, okay, so it could be like you start going into further areas, further out. And you think of like if it was weather modification, weather, like just say, oh, it's been pretty dry, right? Well, we do know they've been doing weather modification since, probably 100 years, 80, 70, 90, 100 years almost. And that's been going on. The Vietnam War, they did it to get the Viet Cong out of the forest. They came alive with that. It's not like, it's not a secret. It's not a secret. So if they really were wanting to put out that damn fire, they would have just put some rain clouds up in the air and just, it's gone. It's gone. It wouldn't have been a thing to go on for 5 days. It would have had a big rain. It's over. It's over. So obviously there's something visual. There's something going on that does suspicious. Everything you see is suspicious. And then you see one of the officials of the area of LA having a press conference telling everybody, the residents, visitors, to have restraint with the water consumption. Of course, she's wearing an upside down cross. Everybody knows the language. Forget about the rules and regulations. We're back to the symbols again. If you see someone with an upside down cross, what does that language tell you? It tells you that they are part of a group. She's sending a message. And one thing about people that belong to certain satanic groups, the more hell and pain, the higher your promotion goes. So that's a Q word. The higher your promotion goes. So that was a little eye candy. That was a little stage message. Messages are sent all the time. The performers are often on stage sending messages. Anyone in front of the airwaves is sending a message to particular groups. It's a way of covertly sending something without discreetly. I'll just leave it as that. Now, these fires, they've also had an earthquake. Now, they say the fire started by electrical wiring, that somehow the impulses or the wiring got frayed. The fact of the matter is they're saying it's the same way it started in Maui. Which, in Hawaii, that area, in August 23, 2023 happened. And now they did it again. You can feel that the people that are responsible for this travesty are not very original. They're not quick on the words. They got to think about it. And ironically, too, the thing about Maui and LA, both of these incidences had military bases that dealt with direct energy weapons right in the vicinity. That's also a major coincidence upon everything else. So, but what we're trying to say is we're going to ask the spirits, we're going to ask the ether, the energy of all of us, to try and see, we're not out of the woods. And what is the next flavor? Attack. These are attacks. Now, the drone thing, the light show that we've been graced with for the past 6-7 weeks has not ceased. We just have other things to chat about, to talk about, to distract us. And that's the whole thing. Distract. And it could be the whole thing of, are they softening us, the United States population, for an attack? And that's what the question we're going to go through. So relax, sit in your chairs, and think about this. Relax your breathing. Try to get your nervous system all attuned, because our nervous system is the part of our bodies which puts us into psi energy, psychic energy, of which is almost, it's a collective of feeling. It's one thing as humans that we can do very well, is allow ourselves to travel psychically. And let's see. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to remind everyone that while California was burning, I think the second day, yes, there was a big robbery at the military base close by. At a military base, they scored. I don't know who they is, but they scored 3 Humvees, and one was an armored one, which means you can blow a tank at it or bomb it, and it's still fine. And they got a number of other weaponry and equipment, including medical equipment, but also machine gun equipment. Now that's right there. I mean, they know something else is happening for this type of robbery to happen. And of course, this is what they say: a certain amount of distinct items were stolen, and then they're not going to tell you everything that was stolen, because to know that like some gang is running around with this equipment, including 40 pairs of binoculars. So that's a little more than just a couple guys. Why would anyone need 40 pairs of binoculars? Of course, too, with the immigration, borders, the traffic has been escalating, and then with this equipment, and then saying that of the 100 million people that have come in, close to, that a certain percentage of that is well-known gangs and criminals. So they just have a little bit more firepower. So we're going to see. We got this scene, this Mad Max scene happening here, that they got themselves some new toys. And we're like almost at the stage of numbness with drones. All right, we know there's drones. So let's quickly see. Let's take out a few cards, and let's start cutting the atmosphere as to finding out just what are they preparing us? Like attack, you can say, what kind of attack? EMP, electromagnetic attack? That would definitely stop everything, especially since everything is run by the same programs that are in one country: China, Russia, UK. Every place is running on the same software, because monkey see, monkey do, and it makes it easier when you want to sabotage someone, if they're not in line, by cutting off their shared electronics, if they can still. So I've taken out some indicators. So let's see. Let's just see if we've been set up. If we're being set up with the whole, and we're being told, climate change and this and that. I mean, when you hear the words climate change, you hear the word sustainability. Those are all keywords, of which all part of the metaverse, all part of the change. Just calm the spirits. Let's see now. Now, here we go. And I'm here up in the mountains. It's snowing. Well, it's not snowing right at the moment, but it's cold and there's snow outside. And it is mountain life in the winter. Now, the first card we got here is the Queen of Swords. Well, receptive message, an overhaul message. Let's just put that. The message. The encompassing message. The reactionary message. Okay. That's interesting. Oh, this is an upside down High Priestess. I guess who is in charge at this point? It's only following. This is not only on a certain level, the hierarchy. This is the lower levels of people, the lower almost like not the flunkies, not the lower management. This could even be people who have no way out, people who are already boxed in. This is the people, this message is for people who are, what is the right word? Who are without choice. These are for the people who must follow. These are the people that are being herded, move, and kept in an atmosphere. Maybe they're trying to keep us in the atmosphere of constant agitation. So we can't feel or say yay or nay. We just follow. Move over here, we move over here. Do that. Move like a magnet was pulling us. Like a magnet is pulling us. Now the next thing we have is the Six of Pentacles. Now the Six of Pentacles meaning is just blanket associations, blanket groups. In other words, there's one giver and there's one person who gives, one entity, one corporate entity that gives, and the others just receive. And there's this, almost this could even be a pun on so-called diversity, DEI, because they're making a big point of sustainability and equality, which we both know that in the contents of attaining power and giving power and keeping power, there is no equalness, equality. It's dominance and submission. So this is almost a charade, however you want to say the word. It is a mask. But the atmosphere is one of calm down. There's enough misery for everyone. And this one is an upside down Five of Swords. Almost as though your hands are tied. Your hands are tied. Don't think about attack. Don't think about attack. Just go to the highest plane. Go and get rescued. Go and search for a rescue. We will take people are looking for their governments, or Americans are looking for the usual suspects, the usual factors to take care of them. And all you have to do is look at LA and see how much you're being taken care of. And here we have continuance of apathy, not apathy per se, of like hands up. I don't know. It's like they're not really. This helplessness it seems they want to have a period of helplessness of which you can't do anything. So in terms of, there was a military attack on us, that the main thing would be your endurance. And here we have an upside down Magician. In fact, they've gotten sloppy, I would say, and there's just no particular button that needs to be pushed at the moment, because it's already in place. So I would say, yes, there is a very definite goal in mind with the drones. And that's something that they don't want you to put together. They don't want you to make the association. But especially since Trump is coming in a few weeks, and he is talking about acquiring all these properties, all these Greenland, Canada, and this is like anybody who has watched anime for the last 20 years or read manga. The North American Federation, Gundam. I mean, it's the series Gundam. It's all in there. I mean, this is on every single political paper. I mean, when something is made into a cartoon form or comics, it's already been scientifically and socially it's common discourse, it's common papers, and as well as the North American Federation. As I said, that's been a script of many many, how do you say, entertainment, graphic novels. So it's nothing particularly new. It's not new. And they also have model, I mean, North American Federation goes back almost 80 years or more. So, and even just putting this atmosphere, like Trump is coming in and bringing the law of the jungle. The law of the jungle is whoever is strongest. The strong govern the weak, which is in effect of what you're seeing with the fires, of which it's saying that like diversity. Look, we hired these 3 women who happen to be homosexuals, and we're like promoting having diversity and equality because when somebody knocks on the door to help you, it's nice to see that they're just like you. Blah blah blah. Useless information, useless. Instead of getting the best people involved, the best people are going to take care of the environmental circumstances and know how to act fast, quick on their feet. And that's not something that's necessarily, it's not something that's really stressed. So we're seeing that we have this military Mad Max style, and we're like really wondering what next is going to fall out. So when we have the magician here, the inverted magician, and we're seeing a lack of ingenuity. Maybe they've shown us everything they've got. Let's look at that a little bit. Let's pull up a few things and see. Let's pull up these 2 cards. Something about these inverted cards. So be on the outlook for more struggles, which is basically there's no quick solution to what's at hand. There's no quick solution. Be on the outlook, and you're going to get more stuff. There's more stuff coming down the line. And then you have the fogs, you have the drones, you have the fires. And it's questionable. It's questionable because it seems almost too much giving. Is this the coronation for our latest president, the 57th president? 47th president, rather. And now, we do know how fragile the earth is. We do know how fragile. Earthquakes. And we seem to be getting a lot of visual, a lot of pictures of, especially the fire. And we have here, well, we have to be prepared. What was I talking about? I got cut off. Yes, it did. And one thing, I'm hitting upon too many topics. When is the last thing I said? Tell me. When's the last thing you particularly remember? Because I was shut off. About, now, I'm saying that basically that we have to be aware that there's a lot of conditions being met, a lot of things happening. And if we systematically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 go towards them, because we have here in the inverted 5 of swords, which means we can't react, we can't fight the usual way. We have to change our thinking in terms of like protecting ourselves against like our electronics, our phones. Do you know how to make a cheap Faraday cage? A cheap Faraday cage is very simple to make. You just take aluminum foil, put duct tape on one side, and then make it according to the object you wish to stop the electricity, the shock, shorting the electronics. That's all. That's very, very simple. And that's something you could do. That's something you can do. So we have here that they want us to keep in a state of agitation. And And this, of course, we know this is the corporate angle of which, sustainability, which we know is a Q word. Sustainability and adaptability and equality, those are Q words for 15-minute cities, the metaverse, and we will show you the way, and the cookie crumbs to the gingerbread house, which are all nowhere. It's all like you losing control. Don't worry about it, little children. I'll take care of you. And of course, we're not little children, and we don't need to be taken care of. We need to have clarity. We need to know whom and what we're dealing with. And what we have here, the inverted magician, we're getting a lot of like more stuff, more crap, more things on the way. Yes, but we're talking about an EMP attack, Root Bear. We're talking about we're talking about drones, the light show that we see on a daily basis with the colorful drones, the speed, the angles, this, that, the orbs. We're talking about being softened up that it's not like, oh my goodness, look at that. We're talking about something that gives us a punch, something that we're getting anesthetized. We're getting drugged with visuals that are like sci-fi, not supernatural, Star Trek. We're getting sci-fi fiction in front of our faces, and that in turn is dulling us to the 11th hour or the 12th hour of where things are at. Now, when we see here, we see the inverted high priestess. Now, right away, we can say that is to our officials, to the so-called people you elected to get anything done, and it's also a reflection of like down the food chain of who's being affected, of like either definitely it's not hot, it's not up, it's down. It could be from the up to down, and then the people that are affected are at the bottom, or the people that are affected are the ones that have the most valid type of recommendations to be done. And perhaps too, you have to keep in mind, you have to feel the flavor, like understand that 15-minute cities are all about control. And if people see you as submissive, you need weak, they're going to be people that are going to be there going, I'm freer than you, I'm stronger than you, I have more of this, I have more of that. Now, it used to be, I'm an expert. And we all know that experts depends upon who paid the bill. Who paid the bill that allow you more time to write, more time to read? Those are like what an expert. But the experts are also people who have the passion. They don't go around saying their status to people. The status is necessary. The solutions are necessary. And where do we have solutions right now, or are we just supposed to run around like Chicken Little? The sky is falling. That's what they're trying to do. So you have to realize the connectivity of it all and the objective of it all, and then see where you possibly how to react, because when somebody's throwing arrows at you, you're not going to catch them with your hands per se. You're going to dodge them until you can get a handle on exactly where those arrows are coming through. And since we do know that there's a lot of suspicious activity and the need for keeping things in a straight line, like don't look left, don't look right, and perhaps left to right is where the shots are coming from. You get what I mean? So we can see that very well we're being put into an era, and Trump saying too, I'm going to acquire all these properties. Okay. But what about lowering gas prices? Well, what about lowering the prices for food? What about real sustainability, if you have to use that word, is the basics of needing life, basic items and conditions needed for a decent life. Are they being addressed? No. Acquiring this and being prepared for military action because we must be very afraid of them. Now, them is not thee and those. It is them. Them is the boogeyman, the usual suspects. Now, they're all after the same thing of dominance and control. So, do we ask ourselves, do we want a capitalistic approach where your assets are reduced, or do we want a socialistic approach, which, same thing, assets are reduced? Now, are we talking about the same thing? That's questionable, and that's not what we're talking about right now. Right now, we're seeing about, are they softening us up? Are they getting us ready for the big? Now, we know that we constantly are hearing about things that happen by accident. Maui was an accident. LA was an accident. North Carolina, unexpected. Now, how come a hurricane travels 400 miles inland, not on the coast, not in, 10 miles from the ocean? I mean, they do have the energy of the Atlantic Ocean, but 400 miles way high up in the sky, high up in the mountains, a mountainous area. And then we have those floods there. And it's also, again, the usual thing, no insurance, no water, no internet, no this, no that, no this, no that. And still living in tents. So there's a lot of similarities between these tragedies. And what would you do? What do you do? That's always the question. But the first thing you do is you do not panic. And you realize similarities. And before it even gets to that stage, there has to be some proaction. And we ask our coming president, before he acquires all these new properties, which in turn means before you get new minerals, new this, new that. I mean, even when you think about getting an EV, for instance. Now, if you had an EV during a hurricane or a fire, do you imagine the line of charging up? Do you think the electricity would not be shot out? Do you think if you had an EV and an electric vehicle, how good is that during a tragedy? How many miles can you get, and would the electricity be shot? Are you stuck? Yes, you're stuck. So nobody's making any sense. No one is making any sense in terms of the what ifs and long-term things. So basically, let's take 3 more cards and see if we are being softened for, let's say, an EMP attack. We're being softened for something big. Now, we expect to have more earth stimulated things, because climate is supposed to be a pivot a rock that we can all climb on, right? We can all get on board the climate train. And that's becoming quite hollow, because we have fires that burn. We have no particular rights during these incidences. And it seems to make sense. I mean, we have patterns developing. And just sit around and waiting doesn't seem like a good thing to do. So we have 2 of Swords. Well, that means it's the quiet part out loud. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. Don't go there. Don't even think about it. Don't even think. Now, here we have the 2 of Pentacles. Money to be made. Who makes the money? The corporation sucking the destroyed areas for the minerals, for the property, if it's valuable enough. And think about, where else can you have where else in the United States is good? Where else? Now, I never heard about it. You hear no more about the bridges that broke down from the cargo train ships. You don't hear about a lot of things after the first 5 minutes of it. And then we have the Queen of Swords. The message is to be receptive and listen to what's said, because this is for your greater good. We have the Queen of Swords in the other deck as well. Same message, same message, same message. Be receptive to this dialogue. And here we have temperance, the same thing. Patience, 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 things happen. We will take care of you. We will take care of you. And here, the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords could be, well, there's more. Page of Swords, whatever else we have to throw into the mix. So I think right now we should think about, yes, they're trying to soften us up, the U.S. population, for attacks, for more things to assail our sensibilities and affect our daily life. So let's be calm, first of all, and also awareness is everything. Awareness is everything. Does it give you a plan? You start by knowing you won't be shocked. You're not shocked because you expect these things to happen. And remember, if you're around a military base, right away that gives you, there's reasons, there's things going on. I mean, war is not thousands of miles away. War is not thousands of miles away. It's here on our territory, and we are dealing with corporate powers. Corporations are ruling the roost. And that's, who are these corporations? Who are these people that are running these things? That is something that we have to discover and something that we have to explore. And why do they want us so needy? Why? What is the purpose? We demand answers about this and that, and we demand prices to be reduced, and we demand peace and efficiency, water, food, shelter. I've already watched all JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, Root Bear. Root Bear, I've already watched them and I know exactly where they're, I like them. Their drawing is a little flamboyant, but yes, they do have almost connecting with your spirit guide and doing things. Yes. Yes. I have watched it. Not lately, but I have watched it. So we can see that we do have problems. We can see that we do have elements that we have to watch out for. And let's not just accept any answer and demand investigations. I hate to almost use that term, demand investigations, because things are moving fast. And with this speed of the need of accelerating certain things, a lot people get sloppy. People do get sloppy, and they do leave tail marks. They do leave breadcrumbs. And those are the things that we have to watch. So we can see that we are, let's not do too many oohs and ahs and demand some answers. Because that's the only way. We have to put the heat on in that direction. We demand accountability, and we have to get accountability. Okay, so till the next time, I'm going to leave this at this point, of which we can see there's a definite plan happening. There's a definite agenda. And the agenda is either 15-minute cities, advancing the metaverse, and destroying evidence of things that people don't like to discuss. There's many things, and we're also, remember, we have zipped up to Star Trek world, space world. We're in space world now. Things are happening fast, and they will continue to happen faster, which means our responses should be faster. So we have to forget the old and embrace the new. And part of embracing the new is to connect. Don't give me the same tired old diatribes. No, I want to know that why certain things are happening. I want to know why the real estate, what is the purpose? What is the purpose? I want to hear things like that. I want to have discussions on that matter and then do action. And why wasn't the theft of the military equipment front page or alongside of the fires? And you know, these fires, they just it smells of a lot of things. More discussions on that matter. So let us leave this right now and come back at another point. So if you have anything else, Steel Ball Run is coming out this year. Oh yeah. Well, we all should watch more anime too, and watch more read things because certain venues, especially the old stuff, has a lot of papers. They got their material from sociological papers, philosophical papers, sci-fi, experimental papers, physics papers, this and that, and which you can learn a lot just by listening to physics lectures. You can, because physics, in a way, is an artful journey. It's a creative journey. And you use theory. You use ideas. It's an ideas person. Ideas in terms of, I can touch this, but am I really touching it? Or is my hand going through it even though I'm touching it? So there's all these types of things, the what ifs, and they all have validity in terms of scientific observation, which is the essential part of sci-fi world, is using science as mana. Oh, mana is magic. And the magic does exist, which they're all saying, all scientists are saying. Scientists are saying magic exists. So we're into a world that is different from the world of 2 months ago. And that's interesting. And that's very interesting. Even the fact you can have a fire that goes on 4 or 5 days and still going strong. I'm not saying it's not a tragedy, but it's something that has to be addressed in different types of terminology. So, Bear, would you like anything in particular that I could help you with, since we're having this dialogue? Well, I will be back again. Think of something you would like to discuss. And let's just, we have to just keep vigilant in terms of, we have to be vigilant in terms of the what, the where, and the how. We have to ask questions. And we have to imagine that, we're not so invincible because we live on the United States anymore. We're not invincible. And we're subject to things. We're subject to accidents, fires, explosions, bridge collapses. We're subject to lots of things that are not being discussed. And why are we getting these experiences? And just what is our military up to? What is our leadership up to? What is their goal? What is their goal? What are they doing? How do they feel they can the right words are a little puzzling. Control us, guide us, lead us to. What are we being led to? And how do we get these drones to go 1,000 miles per hour and zigzag in the sky? Where do they come from? Questions need to be answered. Questions. And my cat said, yes. Answers. All right, so I'm going to go off until the next time. Thank you very much.